Oh, whoa. It's not set up right, is it? There, you'll have to
Oopsies.
man
Hi,
this one, Vision.
everybody.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Sci-Fi-Vision. Instead of, you're not supposed to see just my logo. It's not working. There we go.
Wait, it's wrong. There we go.
There you go. We'll put the background up there somewhere. But everybody, welcome to Sci-Fi Vision. I am not going to stick around because I have not seen the shows, but I at least wanted to come and say hi and say hello to everybody and thank you for coming. Please make sure that you like and subscribe to Sci-Fi Vision as always, and make sure you join us tomorrow at I believe 9. I gotta double check how long the episode is. I forgot to, for our watch party for Alien Earth, and then at 11 p.m. Eastern, we're gonna have our live stream where we'll have special guest Cyborg Queen Media. Jazzy's coming, so please make sure you all join us, and eventually, hopefully, I will get a chance to watch Invasion and know what you guys are talking about. But I'll probably hang out for a bit in the chat, and yeah. So have fun, guys.
Oh, it's so good. Really.
I know. You guys like it so much. I really do want to see it. I need about, 36 hours in a day for that to happen.
Yeah.
Eventually.
So that's all we got to announce?
Yeah, just for people to come back. And to remind people, Sunday at 11:30 we have Daryl, Dixon, me and you, which is on Sunday night. So yeah,
we're
not a whole lot right now.
Oh, Karen, you're doing Daryl Dixon?
Okay, so here's the thing. When I said I would do it, I thought I thought Lori only could not do this one Sunday, and I said to Jamie, okay, I'll cover for Lori. And then I found out that I didn't understand, and Lori can't do the entire season. So I had agreed to do it, so I'll do it.
Yeah.
And also, I'm gonna watch it, so I might as well join Jamie and everybody to talk about it, right? And yes. I am really going to try to restrain myself from my normal Walking Dead ranting, but really, I think of all the 5 spinoffs now, this is the best one. So this is my least ranty Walking Dead in years, right? So
yeah.
So Alien Earth is Wednesday. Daryl,
yeah, tomorrow. Yeah, but tomorrow is 11 p.m. We have Alien Earth. So yeah. All right. Well, I will try to hang out in the chat some and talk to you guys later, but I'm going to get off the stage because there's no point me sitting there when I'm not talking. But have fun, everybody. And thanks, everybody, for coming. Make sure you subscribe. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right.
What are we talking about? I want to talk about Invasion.
All right, let's do it.
So how did you enjoy this episode of Invasion?
I liked everything to the last 30 seconds.
Wait, what's the last 30 seconds? What was the last?
They get arrested.
They get arrested. They being Anisha
Devontae and Anisha.
Everybody in the house gets everybody who's hanging out
in the house.
In, what's his name? What are they called? They're called what is it called?
I don't remember this.
I forgot the guy's name. Intelligentsia Interminable. I gotta look it up. I've seen.
I don't know something.
It's called I'll look it up real quick. But yeah, they get arrested. So why didn't you like that?
Because I wanted immediately as soon as they burst in. First of all, it looks like either A, they set them up, so now it looks like that they're working with them, or B, they're just incompetent and we're followed. But I don't think it's as simple as that. I don't know how the hell they found them.
Yeah.
But obviously I'll find maybe I'll find out next episode depending on how they jump around. But I was pissed. I was like, God damn it. I was like, they were finally getting somewhere. Aaron Stanford's been cast in the show, who we love very much. So I was like, looking forward to that. And then all hell broke loose.
Wait, who's been cast in the show?
Aaron Stanford.
Aaron Stanford?
12
Yeah.
Monkeys.
Oh, yeah. From 12 Monkeys, yes. And he also was from like X-Men and whatever. But yeah, I love him. Actually, so that's not the there's another guest star coming who I I've seen a couple episodes. There's another guest star coming who I guess we have not read about. But yeah, I mean, them getting arrested at the end is a little annoying, but it's not unexpected, right?
A little bit. I thought they were better than that. I can't wait to find out how they tracked him.
So
because
yeah, so
unless they've been watching these people and they said, "Holy shit, there's Trevante."
I mean, so you're not wrong, right? Like if Trevante escapes, then I would think that if you had any sense, you would immediately look at Jamila, Anisha, right? Like, and maybe what's her name, the woman from the sheriff's office. But you would definitely start looking at these people and expect that he might make contact, right? Maybe not Anisha. I think he's maybe not as closely linked to Anisha as he's with Jamila. But for sure, yeah.
Who's with him? So
who's with him? Yes, who's with him now? But so I agree with you. But there was kind of a lot to like about this episode, right? I mean,
oh yeah, no, I liked everything else, and I don't know if maybe you didn't realize it, but the reason I knew Aaron Stanford was in the season is because when Clark was showing them the dark web there that he would go surfing through. They're like, they think it's this. They think Inter, whatever the hell his name is. They're like, they think it's this guy, and it was a picture of Aaron Stanford. That's the only reason. That's the only reason I knew.
You're like, oh, it's that guy. I know that guy.
But yeah, I mean, I love the block party. I thought that was great. The whole that was a lot of fun. The kids, with the band and everything, and Luke.
Except they're playing Mr. Brightside.
Yeah. Well,
that's the second show I've watched in a couple of weeks. I watched Daniel Day Kim's new series Butterfly, and in the opening episode, he's doing karaoke with a bunch of guys.
That's right,
Mr. Brightside.
I'm on like episode 3 of that, and I totally forgot that that's what he was doing karaoke to.
That song is everywhere.
But you know what? They're young kids, so I mean that's That's But yeah, so I mean, now I'm trying to figure out if Anisha and Clark actually got married, like 2 years later, if they've got like churches or standing, priests or whatnot, or whoever to marry them, or, if there's judges out there marrying people, or if they're just saying, yeah, we're together. Not that it really matters.
Yeah, so Anisha's kids are calling Clark dad. I think Clark's daughter, whose name I forget, is she calling Anisha mom also, right? Like,
Yep.
It's been 2 years. I don't have children. I don't know how long it takes. It's funny because at the end of last season, Luke was so angry at Anisha that he kept saying, Dad got killed. You got Dad killed. We got Dad killed. I mean, they did. They did what they had to. The dad was like, run, keep running. And then the dad gets killed, right? In season 1, right? And Luke was so angry about that. And for him to be calling Clark dad
2 years later. Yeah, I was a little surprised by that too.
I mean, maybe he has achieved a level of maturity as he's gone through 2 more years of adolescence. Maybe Clark is that great. I mean, he came across as pretty great guy, right? Pretty awesome, did you say? He's a pretty good guy. Just a good guy, right?
I feel a little surprised by it, just because the kids are older, and it's not like their dad was a dick or anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Luke was their dad wasn't. I mean, he was a dick to their mom, but they didn't know about it, right? Like he was cheating on their mom.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was good to the kids.
He was, and he literally kind of gave his life so they could keep running and get away, right? He was a good dad, and Luke was so angry at her. But I mean, we know that adolescents, some have more experience than others with adolescents, but we know that they can be really angry and emotional and right. And whatever. So Luke's come a long way. I could see Sarah. Sarah was only like 7.
Yeah, Sarah's younger, so yeah, I could see that.
Calling him dad. And his daughter, who is now in college. So Clark is working, I think, as like an English teacher or a math teacher, some kind of a high school teacher, right?
He's some kind of teacher.
And Anisha is a doctor, of course. And Clark's daughter is in college studying her prereqs for med school or something, right?
Yeah.
And she's like super driven and super like, I need to like start doing something.
Yeah, and Anisha's like, relax, chill out, go have some fun first. And she's like, most parents would be thrilled with a daughter that's so excited about college.
Yeah, and Nisha's like, but you grew up so fast. You kids had to grow up so fast and go back and be a kid.
Yeah.
Now it was only, I mean, I don't know how many years the aliens were like with us before. There's a 2-year time jump where things are normal. I mean, I guess the alien invasion lasted like a year or 2. I don't really know what those first 2 seasons went through, right? I mean, I get it, but it's kind of reminds me of, and do we have a picture of Jamila here somewhere? In the previous episode, like, Travante says, Jamila, you're a child. And she says, I haven't been a child since those things came down here.
Yeah. Yeah, she's a little tired of Travante treating her like a kid.
Right? It was kind of the same, but also very different. Like, he treats her like a kid. And she's like, I'm not a kid. And Anisha is like, no, just go be a kid. Not like you're a kid. I don't respect you. You can't do anything. Right. She's like, you can do things. I want you to go back and enjoy being a kid.
Yeah.
I like Anisha as a character. I've liked her a lot since the beginning.
I've always liked Anisha.
She's a really
I like all our characters.
I like them all too.
I really like the scenes with Mitski. When she pulls out the knife and he's like, hey, give me that thing. And she's like, listen, I'm just using you to get what I want. And he goes, oh, it's usually the other way around.
Yeah. Yeah, I love her. I love them all. So we had like a couple of main stories. I mean, we had this whole thing with Travante. This is where he has trashed the hotel room, right? And I had to reduce the size of this photo. So on the Apple Press pictures they provided, they're very wide. And I had cut, so on the left side of this picture, it goes very wide, and there's a picture, like, you know how Jamila's standing in the doorway, and she's like, holy crap, Travante, what'd you just do? I had to cut her out of this. That's what this shot is, where she's in the doorway, and he has just destroyed the room. I mean, I kind of like what they're doing with him, but I guess I'm trusting them to do the right thing because this could get old and bad fast, right?
Yeah, I mean, I get it. He's got PTSD, but it's also got to be really frustrating. Like when the women at that house say, ask him, and he's like, I don't know. I don't remember anything. Like, I have no idea.
Well, he had like normal conventional war PTSD from his like multiple deployments in Afghanistan, right? Before the aliens came.
Well, no, he was still deployed. Think about it. The aliens came. We meet him when the aliens land. He was the only survivor.
Yes.
So he's already got survivor's guilt.
Well, and he also lost a child even before that, right? Like, this guy was messed up like 10 ways to Sunday. He lost a child to illness. He was in the war in Afghanistan, which was, just bad anyway. Then the aliens come and he loses his whole crew. Then he goes through all this other stuff. Then he loses Casper. Then he like Travante is like, every character is traumatized and messed up, but he's like the worst. In fact, I don't know if you saw my interview that I did with Simon Kinberg, my little 5 minutes I had with him.
I did not.
I asked him about trauma. I was like, look, this show has always been interested in like the character's trauma. that they brought in before that they have, and now we have trauma as an entire species and as characters, and like, and in that interview he talks about like the trauma as an entry point for these characters and what he's doing with that, and what what the story's about. But he promises in that interview, if you see it, he says, yes, but I said to him, well, I hope we're going to see some victory also. He says, yes, you're going to see victory. You're going to see love. You're going to see friendship. You're going to see like a bunch of other like things besides just like every character's horrible trauma. So if people want to go look at it, it might be worth it. Or not. So there's that whole storyline, and he's really how do you feel about how he's with Jamila? Do you think he's too mean? I think he's a little too mean sometimes.
I definitely think he's a little too harsh with her. I get where he's coming from. I get what he's trying to do, but it's too much.
Like what he's trying to do, he wants to protect her,
yeah.
But like this is a child who walked from England through the channel.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. Found Casper, brought Casper, like this, like, and she was like only like 14, right? Or,
yeah, they were older. No, they were older than that. They were like 16.
Oh yeah, 2 years ago, but they're probably like 16, you're right, but still very young. She's pretty capable. He's very I get what he's trying to do, but I also think he's a little messed up, right?
Yeah, it's over the top.
It's really mean. Like he's really, and I don't know if he's just like pushing her away because he doesn't want to be connected to anyone in case he loses them, or if he just wants to be a protector, or
well, I mean, he's already got he's got survivor's guilt from when the aliens landed because he was the only survivor. He feels guilty about Casper. He just doesn't want to add anybody else to that list.
I guess, but he really, he, and I think Anisha makes a point later when he comes to Anisha, and we'll talk about that, where like he's the most recognizable face on the planet. He's like a hero. I can't even think of like a person that could be more famous that they're trying to like. I mean, who do you think is the most famous face on the planet? I don't know. Beyonce. Who?
I don't know if there's one most famous face on the planet, but there's a bunch. But he in the show is definitely the most famous face on the planet next to the aliens.
I feel like his fame is almost like beyond like a person. Like he's like, if you looked at a picture of Harry Potter, everyone almost on the planet would recognize a picture of Harry Potter, right? Maybe not some people, but a lot. Like he's at that level, right? Of notoriety.
Yeah, best way to put it, he's like, even if you're not a fan of something you would still recognize. Like, actually, you know what? Michael Jordan. You could never watch basketball in your life, but if you saw Michael Jordan, you would know who he was. Mm-hmm. That's what Travante's at.
Yeah, right. And so for him to like want to go around by himself, and like Jamila can go places that he can't go and can help him do stuff. And she's actually smart and has figured a lot of stuff out. And I think she's also earned the right to be a part of this. And Travante, right? Cut you off. You said absolutely, right?
No, I said absolutely.
And Travante, I mean, do you feel like he's like? I feel like he's like disrespecting that and not giving her like she's earned the right to be a part of this. He's being a jerk. And instead he goes like, and he won't recognize that he's struggling. Like, I mean, I get it, but if you trashed a hotel room because of the guy has issues.
Yeah, a few of them.
There was all that. Anyway, then he goes out. Poor Anisha is living her best life. Is it this episode where she says, like, what would happen if you got everything you wanted? That scares the shit out of me or something like that, right?
Was she having that conversation with Clark?
I think, was she having the conversation with Clark when she says, like, is there anything as scary as getting everything you ever wanted or something like that, right? I forget who she says it to or what.
Yeah, I think it's a conversation. Yeah, it sounds familiar.
something about like getting everything you ever wanted is so scary. Because now she has everything to lose, right?
Right.
And yet she decides to be a sneaking liar.
After she yelled at him for not telling her about his little side project.
Oh yeah. So there's this whole thing where he's like Mr. Normal, like school teacher guy, and then he's like, "Oh, by the way, I hang out on all these like conspiracy Reddits."
Yeah.
And he's been studying the new invasion. I don't know what I would call them. They're not like they're a new resistance group. Maybe is that what we would call them?
Yeah.
Infinitas. They're called Infinitas. Actually,
Infinitas.
the guy, there's like a person who is called Infinitas, right?
Right. Who for now, based on the information I got from the episode, they think is Aaron Stanford, but they could be wrong.
Because there's a picture, right? And all these like Reddits and subreddits are talking about. I mean, I feel like it's like if you went on Reddit, not QAnon level of like cuckoo, but it's right? But they're people who think the aliens are up to something and the government is up to something, and they're like kind of a
nobody trusts anybody.
And really, why should you at this point, right?
Yeah.
The government. I was talking to some friends of mine tonight at boat practice, at paddling practice, and they were asking me about why I had to leave early. I have to go do this show. We're talking about invasion, and I was trying to explain about what's happening on the show or whatever, about Infinitas and like what level of like conspiracy this is, and how like all governments are gone. Like in every episode, it'll say like Utah, former United States, Earth. There's no independent there's states. There's no governments, right?
No, I was gonna say something about that actually. The fact that they keep doing like Earth, it's like, are we gonna get some stuff on the alien homeworld at some point? Is that why they feel the need to put Earth?
Oh, right. Is there a question that it could be Mars or someplace else? Right? Yeah. You're right. It always says Earth. But the idea that there's no government and all these, so you know how there's a group of, there are a lot of conspiracy theories. I don't follow them, but there are conspiracy theories about like the New World Order and how the intelligentsia are trying to create, and the deep state want to have a New World Order and get rid of governments. And that's kind of what happened here, right? We have a New World Order. We have the WDC. I can see why Americans in particular, and a lot of other countries that have a strong, like, nationalistic kind of bent, would not be down with a one world government. Right? This is not Star Trek where everybody's down with it.
So it's very different in Star Trek.
Yeah,
they have replicators.
Right. So it turns out Clark's been lurking in these like groups, and Nisha is not cool about it.
The thing is though, she's not cool about it because he didn't tell her. That's what her problem lied. She understood his reason for it because he's like, I just like to, keep abreast of the situation in case, I want to know what's going on. Which she was fine with that. She's like, just tell me, don't keep it a secret. That's, no secrets. And then what does she do? She runs off the next day to go secretly meet with Travante. Yeah.
Meanwhile, she's like, I'm going to the hospital or to soccer pickup or whatever. And she goes to this like total, like, I don't even know what I call this meeting, this place where they go. It's like a trade show for resistance militia people, right? Like, what even is it where they go? Well, Travante's going to go, right? Originally, Travante and Jamila had plans to go. And then Anisha shows up and Travante dusts Jamila and goes with Anisha, which is kind of uncool, right? It's uncool how he's like, okay, I'll meet you in the car in 1 minute. And then we knew immediately, right? As soon as he says that, you're like...
I wasn't expecting her to try and lock her into the bathroom. I just thought they were going to be gone by the time she got out.
Yeah. Yeah, he locks her in. It's not cool. And they go to this place, and they both act super shifty the whole time, right?
Well, everybody there was acting shifty, so they fit right in.
They were, but I mean, I get, like, Anisha goes, she goes to this table where this guy has all these books about child sensitives and how we got to round up these kids. They're very dangerous or whatever. And we know her kid is one of them, but she looks like, she never says, like, hell yeah, round those kids. Like, they're not very good at, like, they're very quiet, which is fine. Maybe Anisha doesn't want to say anything to be recognized. I don't know, but I was like, God, she doesn't even, like, neither of them really. I mean, Travante's better at, like, he goes to a guy who's selling guns and he holds the weapon and he, like, acts the part. He knows how to handle weapons. So he's even back the part of a guy who's shopping for a gun, right? But they both act very shifty. And they're like, hey, by the way, are you into Infinitas? Who's Infinitas? And then he gets recognized. Because that's the worst disguise ever. A baseball hat and glasses is maybe not a great disguise, right?
Worked for Clark Kent.
It did. I mean, really, he should have sent, like, Jamila and Anisha in. Although 2 women might be more noticeable than Travante, but he's the most recognized face on the planet, right? I don't know. I thought they were a little. That whole thing was. You knew they were going to find a contact, right? Even though they couldn't find a contact, they find a contact. It turns out someone's following them, and they're invited to come find a contact. And they are brought to a house. Oh, by the way, I love Debbie. Debbie picking them up for soccer practice.
Oh, yeah, Debbie. Yeah, Debbie was great. She's like, hi, I'm Debbie. Leave your phones in the car.
She's like, I gotta do the soccer run in a minute. And Debbie says, so are you guys really whoever? And Travante goes, is your name really Debbie? She drops them off and they get to, like, it's like an Infinitas house, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And they meet this woman who is sort of the boss of this house. She reminded me a little bit of when Neo goes to see the Oracle and it turns out to be just a really nice lady who bakes cookies and runs, like, this lady was kind of like that. She's kind of like, come on in. So what did you think about what happened in that house? I know what I thought when I watched it. I don't want to ask you a leading question, but.
Well, I mean, I think it was clearly, I don't want to say, not staging area, but, like, they were the welcoming committee. Like, they kind of filter out and decide if people are on the reel or not. That's, which makes sense to me. I mean, it's a smart move. I feel like they're not going to get much information out of those people. Those people might know a little bit, but I feel like they have so many stages of security that it's kind of why they set it up that way.
Yeah. I kind of felt like when they went to that house and they met this person, and do you remember that there was, like, a young guy who answered the door and, like, checked them for guns and was a little sort of so I thought, could he be Infinitas and he's, like, masquerading as a doorman and it's really him? Or I thought this woman who's, like, the boss of the house, how Travante kept saying, and Anisha kept saying, are you him? Who is he? We want to meet him. Are you him? And I was like, oh, it's her, right? You're deflecting us by saying, are you him? Are you him? The picture's a white guy. Could it be her? Maybe she's Infinitas. But I hadn't caught on, as you said, that there was a picture of Aaron Stanfield.
Well, the kid was at the place, the gun show.
He's the guy that found them and brought them.
Yeah, in. He's the one that texted them. He was. I mean, and they made it kind of obvious too, because the whole time that the big white guy was talking to Travante, being like, "Hey, who are you? What do you want?" And then, like, they're all, like, before they bolted out of there, They kept focusing on him in the crowd, and then they get the mystery text, and then he's the one that answers the door. So I wasn't really surprised by that. The one that
I mean, are you sure that's a picture of him? Because he's not credited with Invasion unless it's a surprise thing and they didn't put it on IMDb or whatever, right?
I was 90% sure.
I mean, they could also. I mean, it could be him, yeah. So, but I thought a little bit of them being like, "Are you him? We want to meet him. Where is he? Take us to him." I was a little bit like, "Oh, maybe it's not a hit." They keep saying him. Maybe that's like a deflection that it's a her, and it could.
Yeah,
be.
I didn't think that much into it.
All right. Well, I was trying to feel very suspicious about it. So, and so this episode also they didn't put any pictures of Mitski and Nikhil in this press dump, but they have a part in this episode also, right?
Yeah, little short part where she says that line that I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, but also like all that crazy shit happens at the portal, right? Like they go to the
I was just going to say, very small part, but very big consequences.
Right? Like we have a bit of a they skirt over the details of how we talked last week, how she gets into the United States, like is kind of skirted over. She meets up with Nikhil. She, you're right. She says, "I'm just using you." And he says, "Oh, well, how times have changed or whatever." And he ends up taking her. They sneak into the portal because she's trying to find out more information about the signal, right? That she saw. And we saw the signal earlier. We didn't really talk about this, but when Jamila and Trevante come to the house to talk to Luke, they have this printout of Casper's brainwave from the minute before he died, right? And they got the same signal came out of the portal like the minute before Trevante showed up, right? Is that basically in a nutshell?
Yeah.
And so I think that's why she wants to go to the portal. Well, she wants to go to the portal because she's getting messages from aliens and she wants to do like Misky science shit there, right? And we get that crazy shit happens where it opens up and like all these like giant like black
tentacles come out.
Tentacles, yeah. And they start killing everyone, right? And growing and growing and growing.
They didn't start killing. They killed everybody but Mitski and what's his face there?
Nikhil. And
Nikhil, yeah.
She passes out from like the brain, whatever, right? And he drags her away. And so I'm not really sure if I think that he was just able to save her because he was lucky or they didn't go after her. I don't know what I thought about that.
I don't think they went after her. Same way the monster that caressed her cheek
didn't go after her, right?
Yeah. Killed everybody else, but not her.
Because she's their kind of mouthpiece. Like she's the only person that can talk to
I'm not sure what their connection is because it's interesting because their connection with
Mitski?
Casper was different. Casper and Luke could control them. Like they would go after them, but then they would do something to control them and stop them. Whereas Mitski, they just don't go after.
I know, and Mitski, her way of communication is different. Like it's because they absorbed Hinata, right? Is why they can talk to her because of this like connection between. I feel like I don't know what they did to Hinata. Did they eat her? Did they absorb her? They took in Hinata's memories and whatever, and they used that to talk to Mitski, right?
Right.
But Mitski's the only. So when Mitski went last season to the Amazon and went and hung out in the crashed ship and all that stuff, there were all those other scientists before her who wound up comatose, right? Like adults have tried to communicate, but it's what they call the child sensitives, all those kids who really like, you're right. They're totally different things. And I don't really get either of them maybe.
Like, why? I don't know why they don't go after her, but there's definitely.
They don't go after her. Yeah.
There's definitely a reason.
And Nikhil is a guy they should totally go after, but I guess because he's right next to Mitski, he's like saved, right?
Yeah, he got lucky.
He got lucky because he was dragging her away and they don't go after her for some reason. They they like her, they need her, they use her. I'm not really sure. But that was some crazy shit at the end, which seemed to be like the hugest part of the episode, alien-wise.
It was the only part of the episode, alien-wise.
Because then they, in the end, the safe house gets raided and they all get arrested, which is annoying because I think any time that our characters spend in police custody is kind of a waste. And we already saw what an asshole all the government is in episode 1, right? Like when they
I can't wait to find out how they found them, because I just find it hard to believe that they all of a sudden just happen to find him then.
Right? Yeah. Like, did somebody turn them in? Did someone give information?
Or again, I could be reading it wrong, and they could have been keeping an eye on Infinitas, and they were like, "Hey, look, Travante."
So, like, wrong place, wrong time, almost like they were on surveillance, and he goes to the wrong place. Or could someone have turned them in? Could it be Luke? Could it be Clark? Could it be?
Nah. Well, no, none of them. Nobody knows they're there.
Yeah, nobody knows they're there. Yeah, the house gets raided and nobody knows they're in the house. They just happen to get dropped off by Debbie at the wrong time. So we'll see.
We shall see.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right.
But generally a good episode, I thought, right? I liked it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. So we will go on to talk about Star Trek, right? The other show we have tonight, Strange New Worlds. I didn't have time to download all the photographs. I have just a couple, but we don't really need a ton of them, right?
Right.
So this was an Ortegas episode. How did you like it, my friend?
I liked it a lot. She made a new friend. She made a Gorn friend. It was funny too, because as soon as I saw that dwelling, and she's like looking through the spyglass and sees a creature in the distance, I was like, "Is that a fucking Gorn?" And she, focuses in, and I was like, "It's a Gorn." Which for a minute, I was still. It wasn't until things got rolling that I was sure that she wasn't just seeing things. Because at first I thought, is she just imagining it because, the shit she's been through? Which this episode did answer that question too when she sees the Gorn in the mirror. I questioned whether or not there was a little bit of, there was something in her, if it was just PTSD. So it turns out it was just PTSD. And she's now dealt with all that. And you've been very happy with this episode, because all season you've been saying how, they haven't really done anything with her with that.
No, they haven't. They haven't gone anywhere with it. And I was kind of feeling a little bit, not, I don't know, unresolved about it, wishing they would come back to it. I've complained about it more than once, right? So yeah, I was glad to see it. I mean, I think we're always glad to see. I mean, Ortegas is a fan favorite character, right?
Yes.
And it is great that she got an episode. Here she is. Here's our girl. Looking very not happy about where she is. It was great to have an Ortega-centric episode where she has the majority of the scenes. I mean, quickly, it was about her getting stranded. She goes on her own solo away mission, which in retrospect was a bad idea, right? Like, she's the pilot and she's capable. She fought in the Klingon War, but like, they do make a little bit like a one sentence thing. Like, it's your first solo away mission. Should be doing this. It's like, yeah, I can do it. And it turns out to be like, goes awry. And she's not a science officer. She's stuck on this desolate planet with she goes through a wormhole like by mistake, and it's a weirdo wormhole that wasn't like, it comes out of nowhere, right?
Yeah, it wasn't there when she started.
And she gets stuck there, and like she makes friends with a Gorn, which I had a picture of the Gorn somewhere. We all know what this Gorn looks like. I'll see if I can pull it up while we're talking. But so I don't know, how did you like this Gorn storyline?
I mean, overall, I thought the episode was really good. I mean, it's really kind of, pretty straightforward. you know, it's kind of your typical survival story. They have to work together to survive. But it's interesting. We did learn, we learned a lot about the Gorn though from this one character. Because this Gorn was like, I don't want to be saved because I'm a failure, And Gorn apparently, when they feel that they failed, they self-destruct their ships or commit suicide or.
Yeah, and all through the episode, like Erica's assuming that it was kind of stranded or stuck there. And it turns out like maybe that's not really like how it ended up there, right? Like maybe it went there. I mean, I kind of liked it. The Gorn have been portrayed as like just sort of a very one-dimensional kind of evil kind of. I mean, is it evil? Like we don't like to talk about good and bad, but a very aggressive and destructive and not friendly an enemy, right? Like they've just been an enemy.
Yeah.
And I don't know. They got a little bit of dimension here, right? Like, how do I feel about that? Did they need it? Did I want it? I don't know.
I mean, the episode was definitely interesting. It was a lot of fun, I thought.
There's the Gorn. There she is. There she is.
Interesting. It's interesting from the fact, though, that they gave us more depth with the Gorn, considering we've seen everything we've seen with the Gorn here. We've seen the Gorn in the original series briefly, and they're all very aggressive. So I mean, I guess the point is it just goes to show that you shouldn't define one individual by their entire species.
Yeah, I guess they've always been, and we have mostly seen the Gorn through La'an's eyes, right? And La'an lived on like a breeding planet, and she had she saw the worst of the Gorn, and as every single Gorn she ever met was like a horrible, right? Like they were all kind of the same. Like to see a Gorn as an individual was kind of like a new look at it. I was a little bit, look, it's Star Trek, so we got to accept the part where I had a picture of, but I didn't upload it yet. This thing where Erica is like, oh, here's a Gorn communication array. If I can just get it working, I can get a signal to the Enterprise. And I get it. That happens a lot on Star Trek. And yet the Gorn are one of the least known species, right? And she's just like, boop, boop, boop. It's working. Yay. It's fine. That's how Star Trek is, right?
Because it's Erica.
It's Erica. Erica's a genius.
Erica can put shit together.
She can. And that's Star Trek. Just a little 1, 2, 3 science. Boom. Here we go. Right. I'm not watching this show for that kind of like terrible test of a character. I'm watching the show because it's an adventure every week. Right.
And it was a great thing because I love just to agree, disagree.
Yeah. It reminded me a lot. You talk about how this is a thing that we've seen on Star Trek before. Do you remember this episode where Picard was stranded on a planet with a captain from an alien he couldn't communicate with, and it turns out they communicate by stories, and he was like, Gilgamesh on the sea, Gilgamesh on the land. Remember that episode?
Yeah.
Gilgamesh episode where he has to communicate in this reminded me of that kind of in it also, that also was like Picard mostly giving this long monologue. Like Melissa Nevi, the actor who plays Ortegas, like did a great job of having to keep up with all this like one-sided dialogue, right? Where the Gorn only is like, agree, disagree, right? Like, so as we get into the second half of the episode, there's that light that Ortegas keeps seeing, right? And she's like, what is that? What's going on? She gets all this idea. She sciences it. And like, she's trying to find a way to escape. And like, she becomes friends. You know how she's like, oh, my people will come and they'll take us. And I'm like, Erica, they're not going to beam a Gorn aboard. Are you out of your mind? Right. But Erica really thinks that will happen.
I don't think she's wrong, though. I think if, they show up and she says, listen, this Gorn isn't like the other Gorns. She saved my life. I think that Pike would absolutely, I think they might take some precautions, but I think Pike would absolutely be like, okay, beam her straight to the brig, but he wouldn't leave her there.
Yeah.
Ended up being for naught because La'an shoots first and asks questions second.
Well, of all people to send down, it's La'an. Like, of course, La'an.
Oh, they don't know a Gorn. Well, yeah, La'an should be sent down. She's the head of security.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know there's a Gorn down there.
There's a Gorn down there, and then it's a friend Gorn. It's your friendly neighborhood Gorn down there, right? And that Ortegas has befriended a Gorn, and so Ortegas like La'an shoots it. Ortegas is like screaming as her friend is like, her Gorn friend is dead. And then that little beam of light is there, right? Like they're beaming out, but Ortegas has this like. So, what about all that? What do you think about all that?
Well, that was just
the Metrons.
The Metrons? Is that what they were called?
Yes, they were called the Metrons.
Oh. I don't know how I felt about that.
I didn't. It had like a Marvel kind of thing about it, right? That they're like, oh, we've been
the Watchers.
We're the Watchers, and you both suck and want to kill each other. So let's put you together and see what happens, right? They're like the Watchers, and they're like, like actually, we talked about how the Watcher kind of started to interfere. Are you a Watcher or are you an interferer? Because the Metron is like, we tried this out, we put it together, and the Gorn was so lonely that it kept you alive. And then you had all your I don't know. I didn't really like it.
I didn't like that either. I thought the story was really good. And then they threw that in there, and it was kind of like, well, where's this gonna go? It's almost like they were, they were kind of cute. They were kind of Q-like, They
kind of were, right? Because they're
but sinister. Like they were like, we were curious to see, and then everything was really good, and we were impressed, and then La'an came down and shot right away, and that just goes back to what we thought before. Humans just can't be trusted. You guys are aggressive, and it was just like,
yeah. And then they're like, oh, well, we're gonna like reset all this, and so you won't remember anything except the part where you became friends. You'll recall, Erica, is that the time you spent becoming friends with the Gorn, and you won't remember the rest of it because we need to like reset we need to like change the Federation's perception of the Gorn. So we're gonna like fix this. Like what? It's like the absolute opposite of like what's the directive that they're not allowed to interfere on Star Trek? Is it called the first directive? Prime directive, the prime directive, right? That you don't interfere. And these guys are like, snap, 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 you're not going to remember anything, right? I don't like those guys.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I mean, I don't really like species that are almost like magical like that, right?
Yeah, Karen hates magic.
I mean, I like magic in the story where it belongs, like in Harry Potter. Magic is fine in Harry Potter, right? I don't know that I love. I mean, it's not magic because they're aliens that have different kinds of powers than but I just don't love that, like, snap our fingers and you don't remember. So I think that's what happened right at the end. Like, she's not going to remember the death of the Gorn, only being friends with the Gorn, because they're trying to force it. Meanwhile, all the Gorn, like in the beginning of the season, the Gorn went into hibernation or whatever, right?
Right, yeah. They sent, I mean, obviously this Gorn wasn't with them. It was with those Gorn.
Well, yeah, the Gorn missed the call to go and hibernate, but I mean, I Yeah, that part like bothered me at the end, I guess.
Yeah, no, I agree. I actually, it's funny. I had actually forgotten about it, and until earlier tonight when I was like, oh, I was like, it's Tuesday. I got the podcast tonight, and then I started thinking about the episode, and I was like, oh, and then there's those stupid aliens at the end.
Yeah.
I love the way that Erica called him out, though. She's like, all right, where the hell are you? She's like, I know you're here. She's like,
Yeah.
you've been fucking with me for an hour. Well, an hour for us.
Right? Yeah. Because you'd seen that little light that was out there like snooping on her, right? So if you Google this, apparently these Metrons that showed up they're dressed like some sort of, I don't know, they're wearing like togas or some kind of whatever.
Kind of look like Watchers.
They kind of look like Watchers, right?
They had Watcher gear on.
So they're in the Gorn episode of the original series. Like in the episode where Captain Kirk had to fight a Gorn captain, it's because the Metrons forced them to fight, right?
Oh my god, I didn't even remember that part of it. I remember that they fought Gorn, but
I didn't either remember it. I just was pulling up a recap and this thing came up earlier today, so I saw it. I didn't even remember that either because the original series, I mean, I've seen all those episodes, but some of these aliens are like throwaway aliens, and apparently they're not. So yeah, in that episode, it's the Metrons who force Kirk to fight a Gorn captain. It's very different in the original series. It's just a fight. There's not this, we have all this bonding. Kirk, of course, as always, Kirk doesn't kill the Gorn captain because Kirk is this like noble character who, like, when he gets the best of you, he shows mercy, right?
Good old Kirk.
But so I guess I would guess that part of the reason that they were like, oh, okay, Ortegas, we're going to reset and you won't remember this is because they have to set everything to go into this next episode in the 1967 series, right? This is a prequel and they can't do anything to like destroy that canon.
Right.
Where they're a new series, where they're a new species. So I know. I did like it, this whole episode, because I did like having an Ortegas episode. We haven't had enough Ortegas, right?
Yeah, no, it was a good episode. I gotta say, I was a little surprised because the next one's the finale, right?
Yeah, this is episode 9 already, and the finale is 10.
So I was a little surprised. I was kind of expecting something to happen in these last 2 episodes. So I was a little surprised to get a solo episode for Ortegas. Not that I had any problem with it. I love Ortegas. She's one of my favorites. I was just surprised by it.
I also really like Spock in this episode. As I was watching it, I just really like Ethan Peck as Spock, right? And he is so similar to Nimoy, and yet kind of not at all like Nimoy. Like his Spock is so good. It's such a good prequel Spock. And he had a limited role and yet a really kind of great scenes in this.
I love when Uhura fudged the numbers so that they would go after her, and Pike later on reveals that he already knew.
Yeah.
He's like, I know you fudged the numbers, and he goes, that's okay because I was going after her anyway.
Yeah, he's like, he just needed a reason, right? And Uhura gave him a reason. He's been a little, I feel like Pike has been a little, I guess when you only have 10 episodes and so many characters get not their own episode, but I mean, this was really Ortega's own episode, but we've had a Chapel Heavy, we've had that whole Vulcan Heavy thing, we've had a lot, like when the ensemble is getting so much play, obviously your captain is getting less play in a different way, but I like it.
Yeah, no, I haven't, I can't complain about any of it.
There has not been a bad episode this season.
Yeah,
I don't think, right?
No, this has been I'll tell you what, I remember seeing the trailer for this season, and obviously we're just getting little clips from each episode, and I'm watching this trailer going, holy shit, this season is insane. Like there was so many different things they were showing, and nothing was like similar. You know what I mean? So I knew it was going to be a very different type of season, which I really like. I mean, like we've talked about this before. Discovery was really good in the beginning, and it kind of lost its way.
Mhm.
And Strange New World has just been on top of it since day one. Like it's just got the feel of Star Trek. I
Yeah.
feel like some of these other shows have tried to do a little something different, which isn't bad,
Yeah.
but this
I
feels
mean,
like Star Trek. This feels like TNG or Voyager or Enterprise. It just has that feeling to it.
yeah. That sort of adventure of the week, planet of the week, alien of the week kind of thing. And I think we have become so used to serialized television, and Discovery played into that a lot, that I'm almost surprised when I see this, and I shouldn't be, because I love this show, but the last season was like 2 years ago, right? So
Yeah.
it's like
And like Picard was very serialized, but it was also very short too, so that
yeah,
worked.
yeah,
And it's different too, because it's with that you're meeting old friends and kind of seeing what they're up to, and it's just like it was one long you got to look at that like Card's show as one long episode. It was a 6-hour episode.
it was meant to be a different thing.
Yeah.
This really captures, I think, the original series.
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
think like TNG and Voyager was very like planet of the week kind of
Yeah.
thing also,
Deep
right?
Space Nine. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved it. I've been very happy with this season, except it just seems like it went by like that. Probably because we had 2 episodes. When you have 2 episodes drop and 2 episodes drop, 2 in the beginning, like it.
Yeah.
As a fan, like, do I love having 2 episodes to see? Yes, but then I feel like it ends really soon, right?
As a live streamer, I hate it. It wouldn't have been because we had like 6 shows when we had to talk about 2 of those.
I know, right? And now our shows go, as a streamer, we don't have as much to talk about, but we're just in that little slow period. We got a lot of new stuff coming. I mean, AJ, it's 11 o'clock. We've covered 2 shows in half an hour.
Well, yeah.
I mean, an hour, half an hour each, but
half hour each, yeah.
there's just 3 of us.
But there's also the 2 of us.
Yes, and Star Trek is not a deep show.
Yeah, and especially this episode. This episode was very straightforward.
Yeah. And Invasion is very early, and it's going to get more complicated as there's only episode 3 of 10, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, is it 10?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So I don't want to spoil, but I think we're going to do a couple more interviews for Invasion coming up.
Cool.
Maybe one next week and one in October of a new character who's coming. And so we're waiting to hear from Apple on that, but we'd be really excited to do those, right? So keep an eye out for those 2 interviews. And we have, it's going to be a few more weeks now, but Talamasca is coming out. There's more stuff coming down the pike that we might watch.
Yeah, it's going to be a minute, but there is some stuff like, I think Diplomat starts in about a month.
Yeah, I think October is the time when a lot of new TV comes. So in the meantime, you and I are back next week with these same 2 shows, with Invasion and Star Trek finale and Invasion next week, right?
And I'm sure Jamie will be on here different hours every day.
You got to get on the Discord, which Jamie dropped into the chat, and find out the schedule. But we know we're having tomorrow night is Alien Earth, which is going to be Jamie and Scarlett. And she's got, as she mentioned, she's got this guest star, Jazzy, who I think, what is Jazzy's her name? I forget Jazzy's streamer name, but I think Jazzy, it's Jamie, Scarlett, and Jazzy. And Jesse's husband might join her. So I'm going to take a step back and not co-host tomorrow. Because, I hate when we have 4 or 5 co-hosts, right?
Yes.
But I'll be in the chat with y'all. And then Sunday we have Daryl Dixon. So watch all that, like it, subscribe to it. And on Sunday, I'll give a big report. My boat races on Saturday. Tonight was my last practice. I was so late running in. Tonight was our last night on the water before the race. So
Good
all right.
luck the race.
Thank you. All right, so I guess that's it. Got anything else? Did you watch anything this week? I've been watching some stuff, but it's not genre TV, so we, you know.
I watched F1 last night, which was really, really good.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be good.
Yeah, it looked. I tell you, when I first saw it, I was like, "Ooh, Brad Pitt," and then I was like, watched the trailer, and I was like, "Wow!" Watching the trailer immediately gave me Days of Thunder vibes.
Which is funny because that's NASCAR, not F1, but
right.
Racing.
But yeah, it gave me the same type of vibe, and it was really good. It was a lot of fun.
I have been watching The Righteous Gemstones.
Very long.
I got hooked on The Righteous Gemstones on HBO, which do you know The Righteous Gemstones? It is basically the King Lear story. A very rich guy has 3 dysfunctional children who are all competing to sort of be the heir apparent, right? Except the father is John Goodman, who's one of these like mega church TV televangelist kind of guys. Like he's super rich, and his children are like completely dysfunctional asshats. And it's a comedy. It's hilarious. It's the language. Oh, what's that? What's going on? Did you hear that? Oh, that's AJ. People, the robots have taken over AJ's microphone, I think. What's going on? Do I sound like that when I talk?
No, it's my computer. I don't know what the hell just happened.
It sounds like R2D2. Oh my god, we might have to sign off. We might have to go. Look, even Michael. Now we got Michael telling us. We gotta go. Got it.